All right, as promised, I'm going to show you guys the ambiguous case video. The ambiguous case is kind of would be like this look, as if you have an angle and two sides, one across it. So you have angle side side. Now, when you guys would prove triangles congruent, back in the geometry days, IM2 days, you had side side side, side angle side, all those that worked. But there's one that only worked one time, and they called it hypotenuse leg, which was, in other words, it only works on a right triangle. If you have ASS, that is not enough information to maybe solve the triangle. It could be no triangle that has that information, could be exactly one, or there could be two, and we could find both of those, right? And I'll show you that later. So this is the ambiguous case. Ambiguous meaning vague. We just don't know how many solutions, anywhere from 0 to 2. So they give you these charts. So we give you as teacher, and we even let you use those charts in past tests and say try to follow them. The negative of these charts, they're if the triangle is called ABC and the angle they give you is A, then these letters are all perfect. But if the triangle is XYZ or they give you angle B, then you have to switch all the letters. It's annoying to know it by letters. It's like, here's the idea, okay? I picked 30 degrees because sine of 30 is a half, okay? So which means is if this side is half of this one, that would be a perfect right triangle, and that would have the one solution. So what's happening here is this side is only 3. So technically, it's only going to go like this, and the triangle can't finish. So if you think of this as a fishing pole and this is your string, it's like you hold the fishing pole, it's 10 feet long, 30-degree angle, but you only had a 3-foot string, it would be hanging in the air. And all you can catch is flying fish. It's the thing is not dipping down the creek. So there's no triangle. So that was what this no solution is saying. So what that comparison we're talking about is, instead of memorizing letters, you multiply the side next to the angle 10 times sine of that angle, and we're going to compare that to the other side. Well, sine of 30 we know is a half, so this is 5. So this side is bigger, and that's why you got no solution. Okay? So really, instead of memorizing all these letters, I just multiply the side times the angle, and I compare that with that. Okay? So for example, if this was 5, that means your string would come down, straight down and touch the top of the water, and then because that would turn out to be a right triangle, and that would be 10 times a half is 5, and they're equals, and that's your one solution. That's the only way ASS works, is that's a perfect angle, okay, right angle. Well, what if this side is 7? Well, 7's plenty. You can actually go down the water, but it's not making a triangle with the side, so it swings. So if this side was more than 5, so if it's 7, they're greater, 7's greater, then you actually have two solutions. Okay, so what would that look like? Well, let me extend it a little bit. So 7 could go back that way, or it could go this way. So just visualize at the end of your fishing rod, you have the string 7 feet. If you swung the string, it would hit the top of the water here and hit the top of the water at different spots, kind of like a pendulum thought. So if I just there's your 7 foot, and I kind of swung it like a pendulum, it would cross and hit 2. So there's actually two solutions that you could have. So you could solve this triangle where this angle turned out to be an obtuse angle, or it could be going this way where this is an acute angle. So this angle, if we call this one B and this angle C, we have two different angle C's, we have two different side C's. Everything's different. So that's why we have two solutions, which I'm going to show you in the next video. All right, I'll show you how to solve all that. It's not too bad, okay? But this is the ambiguous case. Again, when they give you information that's just not clear, you can't do it. For example, if they give you all three angles, we can't do angle, angle, angle. So you can't solve the triangle. There's no solution. It's not possible. We just don't know what the solution is. There's infinite solutions. So those are just some of the things that the ambiguous case tells us. So if you get angle side side, it may work, it may not work, and there actually may be two solutions. Okay. Now there's a second case. If the angle they give you, I know that's not the scale, but it's an obtuse angle, right, 100 degrees, then we know that the biggest angle on a triangle has to be across the biggest side. And that's really all this is saying. So if they give you angle A, then this side better be bigger than the other side they give you. So you can see the angle, this is angle side A. If it's greater, then we're going to have a solution. They can't tie, because the bigger the angle, the bigger side. If they tie, then the angles have tied. You can't have 200 degrees or more in a triangle. It has to be 180. So that's why if this side is bigger at all, then it's no solution. So again, when you have an angle that's obtuse and you have angle side, then you just have to look at, hey, the opposite side of that angle should be the biggest side of the triangle. If it's not, the problem's not solvable. All right, so that's case 2 of ambiguous case. It's a little confusing at times, but I'm going to go ahead and do it the next video. I'll show you guys a 2-solution problem and kind of how that works, okay? A no solution problem, you don't do. There's no solution, all right?